On January 6, the funeral mass of former Pope Benedict XVI was held in St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. Today, let's learn about the history of the Pope and the Vatican. The beginning of the Pope and the Holy See. As the legitimate successor to St. Peter, the Pope is considered the highest authority in the Catholic Church. With the Pope at its center, the Holy See functions as the core of Catholic Church administration. Today, the Holy See is in Vatican City. St. Peter is known to be the first Pope. One of Jesus' 12 apostles, Peter came to Rome to preach the gospel after Jesus' ascension. However, Nero, the Roman emperor at the time, blamed Christians for the Great Fire of Rome, and Peter died as a martyr, persecuted for his faith, and even lost his life. The surviving believers buried Peter's body near the stadium where he was martyred and built a church over it. This church is regarded as the beginning of the current Vatican. There was no separate space in the past, but a church was established and stayed there to disseminate Catholicism after St. Peter's death. The history of the Vatican. There were numerous historical events during the 2,000 years history of the Holy See, and the most significant event among them was the Reformation, which divided Catholicism and Protestantism. Catholicism and Protestantism used to be one religion, but the Catholic Church, formed around Rome in the Middle Ages, started to corrupt. The practice of selling people indulgences, which were essentially tickets to heaven, for money was one of the prominent examples. In response, Martin Luther King Jr. started the Reformation, and through this religious reformation, Protestantism was created separately from Catholicism. While believers communicate with God through the Pope in Catholicism, Protestantism believes they can directly communicate with God. In Protestantism, the pastor only serves as a helper in communicating with God. Process of becoming the Pope. Then, what process one needs to go through to become the Pope? The stages are largely categorized into Catholic believer, priest, bishop, cardinal, pope. First, when a Catholic believer receives an education, they can become a priest. An outstanding priest among them is appointed a bishop, who represents a diocese. The Pope chooses some of the bishops for a special appointment, which is the cardinal. Finally, the Pope is appointed from among the cardinals. The Pope is appointed by a vote. All cardinals around the world under the age of 80 participate in the papal vote, regardless of nationality or origin. If a cardinal receives more than 2/3 of the vote during the voting, that cardinal becomes the Pope.